What's good? What's good? Let me just say how grateful and excited I am to be with you here on this episode. Just the day that I'm closing the doors for Alchemize Your Systems. That's going to be with this bonus 3 biweekly group coaching calls, and am setting off to my first social media sabbatical of the year. It's been 6 months since I've taken time to be with myself. And of course, 2020 had its wild emotions and feels and just experiences as a whole. And so, I've learned a lot about business during that time, especially since I've shifted gears to focus solely on business and marketing and brand development, and walking away more so from the deep personal development pieces of inner child healing, ancestral healing. I feel like my community that I'm here to serve has been doing a lot of that work, and now it's time to help them unleash their medicine with the world. So I really wanted to use this as an opportunity to start talking more about business and more about branding, because I went to school for marketing. I've been running my own business, my own brand since 2011, and I've been a coach since 2013. So I've been around the block for quite some time. And there's a lot of things that I've been witnessing and seeing, and practices that are really dangerous that a lot of these coaches and mentors have been sharing a lot on social media, that I don't feel are responsible. In fact, they're extremely irresponsible. And so part of what my social media sabbatical is going to be is really honing in on how I can continue to be of service to my community, because with what's going on, this is an opportunity for all hands on deck. So I want to just start by diving in and sharing more of these important practices to really implement in your business that I don't feel like are talked enough about. And we need to start, especially if you're going to be a business coach or mentor, to start talking about the practical pieces of business that isn't addressed enough. Of course, especially if you are a soulful entrepreneur, soulpreneur, if you're working or choosing to live with integrity, there's going to be a lot of lessons to learn along the way. There's going to be a lot of the opportunity and really the non-negotiable of living with integrity and sharing from integrity, and remembering that you are here to be of service, not just to rack those bills. And I think that's something that's been really forgotten about. I think there's just a lot of, in a world of social media, we've been so conditioned with the vanity. I mean, now we've got filters that are mutating and adjusting your face. The AI technology is completely shifting your nose and your eyes and your lips. We have so much of our status that we believe that equates to how many double taps of likes we got, how many followers we got. A lot of these superficial pieces and elements that aren't actually important, let alone tangible. The biggest trend that's been going around lately is people loving to talk about how much money they made on a launch or a sale. And they're not talking so much about the transformation that's happening in these courses and experiences that they're hosting. And a lot of them aren't actually leading with accountability. They're just chasing, like I said, the paper and the vision. And it's been really disheartening. There were moments where I wanted to completely walk away from this industry, because I was like, I just don't feel in alignment with it. But then I realized, like, bitch, you got work to do. Like, you're here to implement real change and to lead with integrity and to be transparent. And I'm just praying for more of that. I think this is going to be a year where we're going to see a lot more people wanting the truth. We're going to see a lot more exposed. And a lot of these people who are chasing the paper and the status, but are forgetting about the people who are actually paying their bills, aka clients, the bubble's going to burst. it is what it is. Not only that, but diving into March here, and we're still in Pisces season, it's going to be a lot of subconscious work. And with that subconscious work, we're having to really dive in deep to the safety and to the patterns and the conditions, as to how we're going to find oneness and connect with God, source, universe, spirit, whatever lexicon you want to use, to be a true leader and to help your audience and your community feel supported and seen. Lately I've been speaking up. I did an IGTV about the I want to work with you, but I can't afford you story. And someone recently on a live said that they were triggered by that because they are struggling. And I don't doubt that with what's going on. There's a lot of people struggling financially. And I just want people to understand that we cannot be victims of our circumstances. And you've got to take the initiative and allow your vision and your dreams to have power over your fears and insecurities. Otherwise, you're giving away your sovereignty. And so part of the way that I've been seeing and a practice that I'm doing to reclaim my sovereignty is to take time away from social media. And I think this is a practice we need to implement more of, especially when March is 1 year since the quarantine happened. And it's hilarious. My phone just told me it's Mercury time. So it's time to communicate the truth. Quarantine, it's been a year, and we were not expecting it to still be like this. And there's some people that are upset that places like Texas are getting rid of the mandate, and our spaces like that. And there can just be a lot of bombarding of information coming our way. I mean, think about it. In the past year, we've become so reliant on our phones. It's how we're hanging out with people. It's how we're communicating with people. It's how we're working. Everything has revolved around our phones and our technology. And so that in itself has just been an overwhelm. We're constantly, with every scroll, you're absorbing all that information, your nervous system, all these things. And if you want to implement a business that is in integrity and in alignment, you're going to have to learn how to adapt to this. But more than that, you're going to have to learn to cultivate better boundaries as to when to walk away and when to fill up your cup. So I'm walking away from social media the whole month of March. Everyone knows I'm big on my social media sabbaticals, but I'm focusing the whole time I'm off to, one, finish editing my book, where I'm at the part of where I'm exposing the false light in the coaching and wellness industry. The second piece that I'm focused on is helping and supporting my group program inside Alchemize Your Systems, and really support those that invested their hard-earned money to better themselves in their business. 3, I'm focusing on creating content for Q2. That's going to be all of my April, May, and June content. And then 4, the most important thing, I'm going to take some time for myself. I need to reflect. I need to chill out. I need to unplug, because, as someone who's doing the real work, I know that I've been a targeted individual. I've seen it. It's what my whole book is about. And I just don't allow the over-information to take over my mental health. And I want to disconnect from the technology and all the news and all of the bullshit that's going on. So if you are to create a business that is in integrity, where you can really be of service, you've got to cultivate these better boundaries that will allow you to be of service, to fill up your cup, to be in nature, to get the downloads and the intuitive hunches as to how you're here to be of service. But if you're constantly scrolling and absorbing everyone else's information, everyone else's content, there's also a lot of manipulation happening. It can hold you back. It can bring you into imposter syndrome, and it can derail you from you being on your own path and in your own lane. I've definitely seen it time and time again with myself, but now I know what to do. And part of me taking initiative is to take time away from social media. I've been recently really got manipulated into some programs and was not delivered what was promised, and by friends, and it was extremely painful. So there's also that idea, me looking and recognizing what not to do, and those are the things that we need to have a mourning period and realize and learn from these situations. I would also say it's important to make sure that if you want to implement real success in your business and to really practice, to experience growth, I would say ask for support. Be aware of who's in your soul squad. Like, I'm really grateful with social media. I'll just say it. Like, I've been able to connect with incredible human beings in my community that I love and adore and I respect so much. Like, people who have my back, people who will call me up, people who will give me feedback and support when I need it most. Because if you are going to break the mold and embark on a journey that's so fresh and so new and so out of the comfort zone, where you are doing real grid work and dismantling the conditioning that's been going on in your industry, that support team is everything. So for me, I have like a handful of women in the spiritual business wellness community. I'm calling in more conscious men and non-binary people as well for that support. But it's really important to understand that the lone wolf days are over. And when it comes time to maybe not even just like people in your soul squad that you can call upon, but when it comes time to investing in you, to really be aware of why you're making this investment. Does it really feel expansive, or are you coming from this space of wanting the vanity of it, right? So like I said, a huge trend that's going on is that a lot of these coaches are boasting about how much money they've made, but they're not talking about the impact they've made in their community or their programs, let alone the expenses that they pay. So what's the actual net income that they've made? Just want to throw that out there. But we have to start being more transparent. If you're going to be talking about, how much money you're making, talk about your expenses as well. And it's really important to make sure, like, are you enrolling in this program because you want that lifestyle, you want that material gains, like where are the vanity pieces of it, or do you really feel like they're going to help make an impact in your life that's going to then impact your community, impact your clients, impact your audience? So it's really important to also reflect on that highest self and to see like what's in alignment, what isn't, and to really follow people who are integrous and aligned to you. Last week, I unfollowed about 200 people. Most of them were coaches that I just wasn't resonating with their content anymore. I feel like I followed a lot of them because I wanted that lifestyle. But what they were actually delivering and sharing wasn't actually impactful for me. And it's important to be aware of your energetic fields, especially if you're a sensitive or an empath. Like, the fields are so sensitive right now. The energies are so sensitive. So many people are on edge. There's a lot of issues with mental health going on, whether they're in the wellness industry or not, but just as a whole, there's a lot of challenges going on right now. And it's really important to be discerning on who you bring in and to have a community that is supportive and transparent. And the people that are following you are either aligned to you or are aligned to the blessed up version of you that is pure and intentional and integrous. So really be aware of who you're following, what information you're absorbing. Follow the money in that sense, and really just be aware of how you're choosing to really show up, choosing what energy you're taking in, and knowing to also protect your energy, have those boundaries, know when to say no, and don't be so confined and attached to your phones, your laptop, whatever. Unfortunately, we've become a society that's so dependent on our phones that we've become addicted to it. It's like the greatest addiction that's hit the collective over the years, and we don't talk about it so much because, we rely so much on it. Think about people who are just ordering food from their phones, like all of the advancements of technology. And yes, you're building your business during the time of modern technology, and there has its pros, but there also has its cons, that like people have anxiety attacks if they can't find their phones. I'm one of them. I find myself with that as well. That's the thing I miss the most about festivals is that it's usually a week or a couple days where I'm completely disconnected from my phone, and it's just that exhale. So I invite you, especially during the month of March, to take some time to disconnect from your phone and honor your own unique rhythm and flow, right? So are you practicing self-nourishment practices? What self-care are you doing? Are you connecting with nature? If you feel comfortable connecting with people in person, are you doing that? For me, I don't mind seeing people in person that I love, that I know are in the clear. I haven't allowed a lot of the fear to take over. I'm just not lined up to that agenda. So for me, honoring my unique rhythm and flow is me going to bed, sleeping in, when I need to, especially if I'm doing like deep work, like I have been lately, cultivating boundaries away from my phone, time with nature, time with my dog Bud, time with my family, the pieces that really fill me up so that I can be of service. And mind you, we're still in Pisces season, so this is a time of a mutable season. Inside my upcoming program, Alchemize Your Systems, you're going to learn the modalities of God and how with each season, each quarter, I should say, we have a fixed sign, a mutable sign, and a cardinal sign. And when we understand the modalities of God as the seasons of generating, organizing, and delivering or destroying, the organizing seasons are the seasons that come right before the end of a quarter, so Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and are right before a new season, right? They're the bridge between a season as in spring, summer, autumn, winter. And so this is the really great time to reflect and see what's working and what isn't. And for me, I'm like super pumped to see that implementing systems and boundaries are what's working for me. And I'm really have shifted, and I haven't taken time away from social media since I've shifted my Soul Babe client and who I'm here to serve, or what people would call your niche. So I'm going to be taking time away to fill up my cup and to connect deeper with my Soul Babe client, who I'm here to be of service to and create content and plan ahead. For instance, during this time away, if you want, I'm going to be working with, let's say, if I wanted to do 3 reels a week, which my intention is, and one of those weekly ones is my weekly wisdom tarot pulls for the week, but then I would have to create at least 2 other reels a week because Instagram is favoring reels more so. If I can come up with, if there's 12 weeks in a quarter, if I can come up with 24 pieces and start taking notes, writing the captions, what would be the little blurbs I would have on the reels, and then get all that set up, and then I can film. Like maybe I can film like 24. Let's say I can do like 6 reels in 4 days. Then I have 3 months worth of content already set to go. Pretty amazing, right? So these are the things I really want you to understand with your rhythm and flow, like especially during those times of when you're ovulating. To my ladies out there, like that's a great time to create content. If you're on your moon, like chill out. And these are part of the systems I really encourage you to start implementing, so that you can start to automate, so that you can really execute and you can really plan ahead. And in my upcoming program, Alchemize Your Systems, I have tons of templates, automations, tutorials, and a lot of organizational tools to help you create smarter, not harder, so you can really build your brand like a pro. Because if you've been like confused on like what you're here to do, or like this has just been like a side hustle, but you really want to step into this and make it a lucrative business, you've got to treat it like a business. And when you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. And so with social media that has completely controlled and dominated our lives, something that I'm promising myself when I get back on social media is that I'm not going to be attached to the scroll where I'm constantly at my time limit and just ignoring for the rest of the day. If I can go ahead and plan out content and just connect maybe like an hour or so with my audience, with other people, what have you, then that to me feels like success. I just don't want us to be so confined to our phones and so dependent and feeling like, we're stuck with this phone and this is our everything, and we can't live life without it. So my whole intention is to help you with the sovereignty, so that you can really create a brand and a business that is in integrous with you, that is serving your audience and your community. And this is why I created Alchemize Your Systems. So if you're listening to this on Wednesday the 3rd, the doors are closing at midnight Pacific time. And if you decide to embark on this journey after, you can still experience Alchemize Your Systems, but you won't get access to the 3 bonus group calls that I'm offering support for, where I'm going to be answering questions about branding and the templates and whatever else is arising that pertains to your business. So I'm really, really excited to be helping people, because this is the stuff that just lights me up the most. And that's the other thing. When you have systems in place and you're not so confined to your phone and scrolling and not knowing what to do, you'll be able to create more quality time for your audience and your community that's actually of service. And so I feel like the more that we can do more of what lights us up, more of what feels good, we're going to be able to break through this daze that we've been in for the last year, thanks to the vid. And I'm really looking forward to see like how this unfolds. And like I said, I do feel like this is going to be a year where a lot more truth and transparency is a non-negotiable. And I just encourage you to do it right? So don't just run around with like your head in the clouds. Have your feet on the ground. Find this balance of your divine masculine, your divine feminine, alpha, omega energy within. Find the union of creating systems and automations and structures that will support your creative expression and create things based off of how you're here to be of service. So this is a huge piece and element of what I'm sharing in Alchemize Your Systems. And I've never been so excited about a program, because literally the $20,000+ I've spent in coaches, expecting, what I thought I was going to pay for, or what I was paying for, and never got the return on my investment. This is literally the course that I needed when I first started, the implementations of real things, practical tools. And I'm just doing what I can to be an integrous with the teachings and with the medicine and what I've learned along the way, and to also offer support to my community, so that each of us who've been, the past year navigating through a lot and like checking in with ourselves as to what, what we're feeling into and what's arising. And with that, how are we choosing to be part of the solution? And so that's my biggest prayer and intention for you, is that it's time to help you unleash your medicine, to be the solution, to understand that your medicine has the ability to implement real revolutionary shifts in your community. And it takes you taking that leap and having the non-solid ground so you can have the container to hold the transformation. So I'm beyond thrilled to be supporting those who are going to be on Alchemize Your Systems for the next 6 weeks. This is what I'm going to be doing when I'm off social media, is just being present for these people who are ready to be of service, because it's our time. And I have faith in the future. I have faith in what's unfolding. And it's about having faith in ourselves and our mission, and knowing that we're being led. I just know for me, like, God's got my back. I'm so divinely guided and protected. And I just want to help you go out there and share with the world why you're really here. So if you want to learn more about Alchemize Your System, again, the doors are closing at midnight on March 3rd. And from there, we'll be diving in and meeting next week on Saturdays. And I wanted to do 2 of the group calls on Saturdays because I know a lot of people are still working other jobs or they're homeschooling kids. So I'm doing my best to be as accessible for you all while also honoring boundaries. And so we're going to have sessions on Thursday and 2 sessions on Saturdays. But I'm very excited, and we have a community support as well. So all in all, I just really encourage you that it's time to treat your hobby of yours like a business. It's time for you to really get professional. It's time for you to hone in on that vision and that greater mission of yours, so that you can create authentic and powerful content, so that you can truly be of service, so that you can be part of the solution, so that you can share from experience your wisdom, what you've learned, your gifts, your talents. I want you to take time to write down the ideas and the inspiration that's coming through. And sometimes you got to get away from social media to find that clarity. I want you to speak to your Soul Babe client by embracing the pillars of your business. And I really, above all else, I just want you to remember that the quality is more important than the quantity. And so I'm so excited to be sharing with you more about business and branding and how to support you. And so while there'll be a few episodes of the Sovereign Society podcast during this break, I'm just so grateful and excited for what's to come and how this is unfolding. But I will be active inside the email list, and I'll be active inside the Sovereign Society group. It's a free group. So again, all these links are in the show notes, or you can visit the link in my bio on my Instagram, even though I will be on break. But I'm just really looking forward to see what comes through so I can be of better service to you and to this community and really answer the call and unleash my medicine in the world for you. I love you. And if you're interested in Alchemize Your Systems, again, check out sabrinariccio.com/alchemize-your-systems, or you can click the link in the show notes or even the link in my bio on my Instagram and sign up. So the doors are closing at midnight on Wednesday, 3/3. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I just want to thank you for the love and support here on the Sovereign Society podcast as well. This podcast, it means so much to me, and I truly appreciate it. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for answering the call. And just remember, the world is ready for your medicine. So it's time to do it right. I'll see you soon. Take care. Sat Nam.